Morning, Roxanne. Morning, morning. Morning, all. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to be on, but my flight was delayed by a couple hours. Typical American Airlines. So I had about an hour to spare, so I decided let me just jump on quick. Patsy Edwards, morning. Winston Jack, morning to you. Julia Spooner, morning. Winston Jones, Cyril Mayas, morning. Ria Ghani, morning to you. Angela Maru, morning. Will Durant, morning to you. Yes, as I was saying, my flight was delayed by a couple hours, so I just said, let me jump on. Let me jump on before I head off to the airport. I just have about an hour, so I can't take any calls. Daniel Knights, morning. Thank you, sir. Laverne Brown, morning. Patsy Edwards, morning to you. Kathy Belfon, morning. Kennedy Joseph Mikel, morning. Theophilus Lawheed, morning. Eileen West, morning to you. Spots. Lisa Burton, morning to you. Annette Beard, morning. Right, so it is 9 o'clock. Let me just jump in. Pamela Nelson, morning. It's raining in Florida. Jennifer, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, Deborah, I don't know. American Airlines always, every time. Flights always delayed. I don't know if it's because the flight that should have come in yesterday or last night is, I suppose, normally the flight that would have left this morning. So I don't know if they would have had a delay in Miami yesterday. But I know the airport, I think, is the runway is closed from 10 p.m. or something like that because they're doing some remedial works on the runway. So if that's the case, it would have been delayed. But anyway, so I just wanted to jump on quickly just to touch on a couple of things, right? That is in the public space and is source of much discussion that I really haven't touched on because to me, I want to touch a bit on this whole KFC thing. Forgive me, right? But I haven't spoken to it before because to me it's a real trivial thing, and I don't understand why it is people making a big issue, a mountain out of a molehill. Because from my understanding, KFC would have increased, or Prestige Holdings would have increased the price of some of their menu items, not all, some of the menu items by $1 and $2. So I think one of the more popular meals, which is the boss deal, 3 pieces of chicken, portion of fries and a drink, is 52 now 51.95, up from 49.95. And all over the place, you have people calling for boycott and let's boycott KFC, and we need to stand up and stand up. For $1 and $2, even if you buy KFC, you buy that particular menu item, let's say 3, 4 times for the month. Let's say 4 times for the month, even 5 times for the month. You telling me $10 more for the month gonna break you? $10. Or even if you buy it twice for the month, $4 going to break you. I know some people come to say about is the principle in the thing. What principle in the thing? When it was announced that there was going to be an increase in the minimum wage, it was expected. People were saying that they expected certain businesses, most businesses, to whom the minimum wage applied, um, to increase the cost of their goods and services, right? So this was no surprise. But we expect anybody who goes into a business for the purpose of profit, and they want to make as much profit as they can make. All these businesses, groceries, we complain about all the time about the cost of living, the price of things in the grocery so high, and these things that they import all the time. You go into the grocery now, and by time 2 weeks from now, when they want to check for the same items, you will see the price go up, and people pay it. They complain, but they still pay it because at the end of the day, it's about profit. Which is why when people want to beat up on the government for the cost of living and say that the government should intervene, the government cannot tell grocers what to charge for their stuff, right? Because we are in a free market system. And therefore, the government doesn't know what it is what entails, or what it entails for a business to be able to, like in the case of the shortage of US, some groceries and other businesses will tell you they have to go on the black market. So whereas the bank might be selling US for $6.79, they buying it for $7.50 and $8, and therefore they need to be able to recoup that money. The government don't know that. They don't know who buying on the black market, even though black market activities with respect to forex is illegal. So people are going and talk that. So they will increase their prices based on these things. We don't know. But we know we go to the grocery, we go wherever, and the price going up and we vex. And they should keep their prices. So when is a good time to increase your price? And I'm just asking, this is a general question. But all the people who vex, when is the best time? We know for most Chinese, they should never raise it. So if that is the case, the prices that of goods and services from 1962 should still exist in 2024. There should never have been an increase, because anytime there's an increase, people will always complain. So apparently inflation only applies to the consumers, but not to the business owners. And I'm trying to make a case for anybody, because at the end of the day, I am looking at it but from a professional standpoint. So this issue of KFC, and they increase the price by $1, $2, and people vex and we need to boycott and so on. And you have people like Insha and Ishmael now who decide to jump on the bandwagon to rally the call to boycott, which surprises me, because this is the same man who just a few weeks ago was lied to the court, right? A couple months ago, lied to the court and said that as a result of calls to boycott his business arising out of his lawsuit against Krokro, that it cost his business, and Krokro's song cost his business about $100,000 a month. But he couldn't provide any evidence or proof to the court that he lost at least $100,000 a month. But the court say, you know what? We're not going to put that burden on you to prove that. If you say so, no problem. So then he came recently on numerous occasions and saying, yeah, the more they call for boycott is the more money his business makes. Okay, well, fine. So you want to lead, as a business owner, you want to lead a boycott against KFC because they increase their prices by $1 or $2. $1 or $2. If you crying for $1 or $2, something wrong. Something wrong. You should be trying to get yourself in a position, okay, they increase it by $1, no biggie. So my godson yesterday asked me to buy KFC for him. I went to buy it. Well, I was supposed to tell him, nah, boy, I'm buying that for you now, because what it is you want KFC increase it by $1. So that's too expensive for me. I can't buy it for you. See that $1? No. How does that make me look in his eyes? Because he's $1, uncle? Really? Let me just touch on that, right? So I did some quick research. In St. Lucia, the same 3-piece and fries and a drink costs $22.50 EC, which works out to $56.31 TT. So it's more expensive. So if you go to St. Lucia for a holiday and you're feeling for a box of dead and you decide to go buy KFC and buy the same boss deal, it costing you more in St. Lucia than you pay in Trinidad. In Guyana, it's 1,660 Guyanese dollars, which works out to $53.95 TT. So it's more expensive in Guyana. In Jamaica, so it seems the prices vary in different parts of Jamaica. If it is that you're in Kingston as a port, if you're in Portmore, if you're in Negril or Montego Bay, the prices vary. I guess because of who they, well, anyway. So in Jamaica is 1,840 Jamaican dollars, which works out to $80.06 TT. Yes, $80.06 TT for 3 pieces of chicken, a drink, and a portion of rice. In Barbados, it's $22.95 Bajan dollars, which works out to $77.18 TT. St. Vincent, 20 EC dollars, which works out to $50.06. Grenada, $20 EC, $50.06. In Dominica, it's $20.50 EC, which works out to $51.31. So you see where it's going. It's the same average price, except for 1 or 2 other Caribbean countries where it is that $80 in Jamaica, $77 in Barbados, right? So you're studying that because you decided I'm going crop over. I'm feeling for KFC. I'm gonna buy my usual. You buy your 3-piece, right? Your boss deal, and you're paying $77.18 TT for. But we don't look at these things, you know. Yeah, let me boycott KFC and boycott KFC because it's the 1% and the 1% and the 1%. Let's not. I'm gonna play this. Let's see this here. Get this here quick. Good.
expats. And for me, it is unfair that a company which boasts about hundreds of millions of dollars in profits raised their prices recently so that they can increase the minimum wage for their workers. These are workers who work tirelessly on their feet, who are sometimes insulted, and I saw it myself, by fellow managers, who are denigrated by senior people. And I think it's about time we as Trinidadians, because we always like to flip and talk. If it's one thing that Trinidadians famous for, is that we like to talk. We full of talk. We could go on Facebook. We need to boycott this. We need to boycott that. And we don't do shit. Well, let me tell you what I am doing, what I did this morning. At Baraka Grounds in Chaguanas, we have KFC ads on our billboards, and we have taken a decision that we will remove all ads from KFC. That's approximately $8,000 to $10,000 every month in revenue. We are refusing now. Secondly, KFC would normally advertise with my station for Ramadan, approximately 20,000 plus value, right? I am now telling KFC, hard luck. I am not interested in your income. I am not interested in taking that money. We will not take it. So personally, I have decided that $28,000 so far, because the station is mine and that income would be coming to me and my station, I have decided that I am not taking $28,000 in KFC income for the month of March. Thirdly, when we normally have Ramadan, the breaking of the fast at Baraka Grounds, and I do apologize for the shit.
Right. So basically, he's leading a campaign, and I think from tomorrow, Monday, he's leading a boycott, calling on people to not purchase KFC and so on, and leave their restaurants empty. Now he concerned. They're so concerned about KFC this and that. How KFC making money to pay their staff and the employees, right? So let me boycott KFC. Stop buying KFC. When it is KFC not making money, then what? How the workers getting paid? Well, nobody coming to buy KFC, so here what? We don't need all that. Go home. And he's so concerned. I'm not going to play the whole life. That's all I'm going to play now. But he's concerned about most of KFC's workers as single mothers and so on. How we know that, I don't know. Right? But you leading a boycott to not to shut down KFC without concern for the workers inside it. So when it is that KFC decide, well, you know what? Forget that. Nobody can come in and buy. Go home. How they paying their bills? They could come down by Baraka Grounds and get working brilliant. How many of them you'll hire? You're going to hire them in ROC? This is the level of idiocy that these people come up with. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. KFC and you know, for $1 and $2. This is the same man. Let me show you the level of hypocrisy of people like Insha and Ishmael, right? The other day when Pennywise announced that they were, because of the increase in the minimum wage, that they were going to stop paying their staff for the lunch hour and the 15-minute break. Everybody was up in arms about that. Did he lead a call to boycott Pennywise? It's the same single mothers working Pennywise. And here it is that Pennywise is coming to tell them, nah, no, we ain't paying for no lunch and we're not paying for no 15-minute break. Let me read exactly. Rather than call for a boycott, let me read for you all what it is he said. Let me get to it. Time flying there. He came to the defense of Pennywise. Pennywise took away paid lunch hour and everybody getting headache. 90% of businesses out there do not provide a paid lunch hour. Really? 90%. I don't know where he and Philip Alexander is getting statistics from. But he says 90% of businesses do not provide a paid lunch hour, much less extra 15 minutes break, which exclude bathroom breaks, etc. This company and their charitable arms build houses every single week in Trinidad for families in need. Thousands are fed through their hamper drives. Thousands benefit from free feminine products, and they also assist other charitable organizations. Like every one of us, they are not perfect, so please look at the other side of the coin. On another note, Pennywise has about 80% more employees than what they need, and also every 3 feet that you see an employee, their profit margins are a lot smaller than everyone else, so less profit. Meds at Superfarm are 15 to 40% more. And again, Superfarm. Superfarm is owned by Agostini's, which is related to Prestige Holdings, right? It's part of the group. So you're going after many young people who were jobless now have employment, many of them single mothers. So don't beat up on Pennywise because they want to take away the lunch hour, the paid lunch hour. Look at it from the other side of the coin. Right? He had no problem with that. So it's okay. Same single mothers. That $20 or whatever it is an hour that they would have collected if they're working 7 days for the week, because from what I understand is Sunday to Sunday they working. I think Sunday they open till 11:30 or 12 or something like that. And they work long hours. I was speaking to somebody, a former employee, and they work long hours during the day. So if it is they work 6 days for the week at $20, that's $120 extra per week, right? So that's $408, almost $500 less they would be collecting every month. You know what bills that could pay for some people? But he had no problem with that, you know. Instead, yeah, let me come to the defense of Pennywise because they're so charitable. KFC gives too. Every time this hunters group that go out looking when people go missing, the Hunters Search and Rescue Group, every time somebody missing and they go out looking, you always see they posting up on Facebook, on the Facebook profile. Meals were provided free of charge by KFC. They want to thank KFC for always coming to the rescue and providing them with meals when they go out and they rescue. KFC does that. But he is not interested in looking at the other side of the coin, right? You know much things KFC, and not just KFC alone, sponsors. So many different things. But they don't want to talk about that. Let me boycott KFC. And then you have some of them, when you're reading the comments, talking about, so somebody, there was another profile that I think was E-News or something, made mention of the fact that Royal Castle had recently increased their prices by as high as $10 on certain items. $10, not 2 and 1 as KFC, $10. Where was the call for the boycott? You know what their argument is? The Royal Castle is local, so we need to support them. So we don't have a problem with that $10 increase on any item. Really? And then somebody says, well, you know, Royal Castle didn't push their profits in our face recently. So let me explain something. First of all, there's a difference between revenue and profits. Prestige Holdings did not declare hundreds of millions of dollars in profits. They declared $85 million in profits, right? Over $1 billion in revenue. There is a difference. Profits is what is left over from revenue after it is you pay all of your expenses and the like. So $85 million in profits last year, not hundreds of millions as this individual is saying or claiming. So let us get that straight. The second point is that Prestige Holdings is a publicly traded company on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, which means any citizen of Trinidad and Tobago could go and open a brokerage account with any one of these brokers, like Wise or Reliance, whoever it is. And you want to become a shareholder in Prestige Holdings, you have your money, you can go to the bank and take a loan instead of taking a loan to play mass for 2 days, to buy a costume that you will wear for 1 day, right? And to go spend $1,500 for or $2,000 for an all-inclusive ticket, or $3,000 depending on what your choice is. You can take that money and you could go to a broker and purchase shares in Prestige Holdings, which will entitle you to a share in those profits. So instead of griping and complaining about the 1% and the rich getting richer, at the end of the day, that money, all that money and profit doesn't only go into the pockets of the Muti family. They are ordinary citizens who every 6 months getting a dividend check from Prestige Holdings or getting money in their bank account because they had the good sense rather than to complain. So they're happy when they see Prestige Holdings or KFC increase their prices. They're happy when they go into KFC and they line long because it means business is booming and they know that when in 6 months' time, I could expect a check in the mail from Prestige Holdings for my dividends for the money that I invested in that company. When they walk into KFC or Pizza Hut or Starbucks or Subway or TGI Friday, they could hold their head high and say, I am part shareholder. This is my company. This is my restaurant because I own shares in Prestige Holdings, right? So they could walk in there like a lord, and they don't need to be millionaires and billionaires to do that. They could be making 5, 7, 8, 10,000 a month, but because they know how to manage their money and where to invest it, instead of putting it sitting down in a bank where the bank paying you $2.50 in interest for the month, but taking $20 in service fees. Instead of doing that, which makes no sense, they decide, let me go and buy some shares. And when the price of KFC or Prestige Holding shares go up, I make money to capital appreciation, and I get money too from dividends every 6 months. And it was the cost of a Prestige holding share? $10.14. So when you go to buy the Boss deal and you're paying $50 or $52, you could have used that same money and buy 5 shares in Prestige Holdings. That would entitle you to a share of the 85 million, or how much ever $1 million they declare in profits every year. So it's not only the 1% benefiting. But they wouldn't have that discussion. You know. They wouldn't tell you, well, here what? Go and buy Prestige holding shares. No, they're telling you that. Let me boycott KFC. So when I see Philip Edward Alexander posting up nonsense about the doubles vendor and the doubles vendor's money is the company will go back a portion of their profits in what is in earnings so that they can expand the business to make more money for the benefit of their shareholders. Anybody could be a shareholder in Prestige Holdings. There's nothing preventing any of you from being shareholders. It's publicly traded. So they have to declare their profits and it must be published for their shareholders to see. Royal Castle is a private company. They don't have to declare their profits to anybody, save and except for the small group of private shareholders. So that is why Prestige Holdings never tell the newspapers to publish this stuff. But it's just something of interest. But people say, no, cool, $1 billion+ here, but they make profits. No, that is revenue. We're not having that discussion about financial literacy to encourage people to look at alternative investment products other than chucking your money in the credit union and you chuck the money in the bank, right? Fixed deposit, if it is, people still invest in those things where you're making next to nothing and your money locked down. Go and buy some shares that is not just Prestige Holdings alone. You have a whole set of other companies on the stock exchange that you could go and invest in and you could be a shareholder and you're getting dividends every 6 months. So when they come in to talk nonsense about the 1% and the 1%, no, it's not only the 1% benefiting from Prestige Holdings profits. And then this next one, again, Philip Edward Alexander talking nonsense about how does KFC investing in infrastructure or Prestige Holdings investing in infrastructure benefit anybody? Well, clearly, the buildings don't build themselves. They're not built by robots. They're built by human beings. And the fact that when it is Prestige Holdings opens a new KFC outlet, because they're more inclined to open standalone outlets rather than go and rent in a mall or somewhere, right? So they're building infrastructure. It has to be built. They're providing jobs for the laborers. And the fact that these men are available to work on these projects says that clearly they weren't working before or they didn't have alternatives. So it creates opportunities. And all of the things that they use to stock it, all of these different outlets, and not just Prestige Holdings alone, because, but even if we look at Subway, who providing the lettuce and all of these different things to the groceries, to the restaurants? It's local farmers who benefiting from that. KFC purchases their chicken from Arawak, right? From Arawak. So all of the people who supply chicken to Arawak, so that they could then process it and sell to KFC and sell to Massey and all of these different, they create employment. They create an employment for the chicken farmers who have to employ people to ensure that the business running. They create an employment for the people who work in Arawak itself. You know how much Vinny's working in Arawak now? Because Chinese, for some reason, don't wear Arawak. Well, my 19-year-old cousin working there. He's been working there for almost a year now, probably about 9 months. And he's a hard worker. He's a hard worker. Working Saturday, well, Monday to Saturday. Any opportunity for overtime and so on. And in the space of 9 months, he was able to buy a little old car, right? Fix it up, build his savings, help out his mother with respect to their home, and so on, buy washing machine, and all these different things at 19 years old, working at Arawak. But these clowns, right, who want to come and tell you boycott, and let me boycott, so what? They're going to unqualify boycotts of Arawak too, because they're supplying KFC. So when it is you call for boycott, and boycott results in a drop in sales, and they need to send home workers because we don't have the work for you workers, what's going to happen then? I want to know if Ishmael and the rest of them, Philip Edward Alexander and the rest of you are going to hire these people. Do you all think before you come with this set of dotish talk? The impact that has on the economy. When Prestige Holdings makes money, right, they have to pay taxes to the government. And those taxes which the government collects from these companies goes into the consolidated fund for the benefit of you, the citizens, to pave road and to provide you with water and to pay the salaries of public servants and all of these different things. So the very same public servants who may be inclined to listen to people like Insha and Ishmael and boycott KFC, you're stabbing yourself in the foot. Because when revenue falls, profits fall, is less tax revenue for the government to be able to provide the goods and services, all of the things that you all want subsidized. We want fuel subsidized, electricity subsidized, water subsidized. If we go in on the plane to Tobago, we want that subsidized. We want the ferry subsidized. Everything we want subsidized. Where the money coming from? Right now, it is the non-oil sector that is carrying the economy, that is carrying government revenue, not so much the energy sector. The non-oil sector for the last few years has been contributing more to the government's coffers than the energy sector, which includes restaurants like KFC, Subway, Pizza Hut, TGI Friday, Presto, all of these different things. Then you have Agostini's, which also falls under that whole group as well, which is Superfarm and the like. So if he has an issue, but he has a restaurant called Brilliant at Baraka Grounds. So he's telling people, hey, what? Boycott KFC because they increase the prices by $1 and $2. Forget, don't pay them no $51.95 for 3 pieces of chicken, a portion of fries, and a drink. Come down to Baraka Grounds and buy a 8-ounce ribeye steak and 2 sides for $120. Yes, 8 ounce, and he have it posted up on his Facebook page advertising. 8-ounce, an 8-ounce ribeye steak, 2 sides. You getting a drink with that? $120. But I can't afford $51.95. I can't afford to buy a boss meal for $52. But I'm going down by Baraka Grounds and spend $120 for 8-ounce ribeye steak and two sides. That making sense to them. Yeah, forget KFC. Come by me. Come by me. Pay double for what it is you would pay by KFC, which probably even more filling too. May not be all that healthy, but anyway, yeah. You can't afford $52, but you can afford $120 by Baraka Grounds. And this is the level of idiocy in these people. But you see, it is in their best interest to do anything to try and mash up the economy. Because that is the narrative that they've been pushing. That the economy is suffering. And the economy is suffering. See this thing here. So, just give me 1 second. Let me make sure this thing. Right. And the economy in shambles. Sabotage. That's what they try. But Chinese, we know, is a 9-day wonder. So they're going to, they vex now. And in about a week's time, 2 weeks' time, you're going to see not. I don't even think it has really impacted prestige holdings, which is why they didn't really make no fuss. But you have some person with a fake profile with the last name Mote come out on social media and made some disparaging comments in comparison to prestige holdings and doubles vendors. And they all up in it saying, you see, anybody could see that's a fake profile. The man has 8 friends, none of whom are what they call 1%. And he only started posting in October last year. But he put up a profile picture. And yes, it's Mute is his family. And I hear the family come out and deny and say that that is not the relative or whatever it is. And we go off on that. For the sake of $1 or $2. The things that we give prominence to in this country. Right? But you will leave Trinidad and go to any one of these Caribbean islands where the same, and you're going across there and spend the money. You ain't studying that. I ain't doing no conversion in my head. Let me just buy it because I'm feeling fit. And you spend it, right? Because you have a budget for your vacation and you spend it without regard or consideration for how much it's costing you over there. But you're coming back to Trinidad to cost in your own home country a business that is benefiting thousands of employees. Thousands of employees that also gives to charity, but he ain't going to talk about that. Anyway, so I see it's already 9:28. The drama, the soap opera that is politics in Trinidad and Tobago continues. With the declaration yesterday by one Philip Edward Alexander, the on-again, off-again political leader of the PEP, declaring that his party has decided to throw its full weight behind the United National Congress for the upcoming general election. That he will once again assume the post of political leader, right? The same man who just a couple months ago told us that he is leaving politics. He's done. He's washed his hands of it because there's nothing more that he could do. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, the electorate only votes on the basis of race. On the basis of race. He said that, right? But the party that he's looking to join up with, the leader of that party just last week, Monday, condemned persons who claim that that PNM supporters and UNC supporters vote based on tribal voting. So the very same thing, message that he has been spreading for the last how long, claim that he is making the reason why that he has been making, that the reason why his party not making any inroads is because the supporters of the PNM and the UNC only see race when they go to the ballot box. So once already there is a divergence in perspective between himself and Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Right? You say two men can't live in the same boat. For the longest while, for the last few months, Philip Edward Alexander cussing Kamla, Dr. Rowley, and jamming Gary Griffith, highlighting over and over the fact that Gary Griffith made mention that the United National Congress would have funded certain criminal elements so that they could get support for elections and other things. He has been beating that like a rented mule for the last few months. All of a sudden, he just had an epiphany overnight. So Gary left the accommodation and a void has been created. Apparently, he thinks a void has been created and he wants to seize the opportunity. But they love to call Dr. Rowley a dictator. I want to ask Philip, how many members does your party have? Did you consult all of the members? Was this unanimous? Did you call a convention and say to your membership, look, this is what we want to do? All of the ideals and the values and everything and all of the ideas that I've been sharing with you all for the past year and 2 years, because he seems to know everything about everything. He has the answers and the solutions to every situation, every problem facing the country. All, according to him. And some people would have bought into that and supported him. Did he consult with them before he made this decision to throw in the party's lot with the United National Congress? The party that he has been telling us for the last year and more is crooked, is criminal, cannot be trusted. But you see, in politics, it seems the philosophy is supposed to be yesterday was yesterday and today is today. Let me just read something from Philip. Let me get this here. Where is it? Is it here, boy? No. Right. So, let me get this here. Right. This is an article in the Trinidad Express dated June 14, 2023. No thanks, Kamla. Small parties snub UNC leader on forming election coalition. Small political parties are not tripping over themselves to join with the UNC to defeat the PNM in the August 14 local government election. Progressive Empowerment Party political leader Philip Edward Alexander said yesterday that a coalition with the UNC to contest the local election was not what Trinidad and Tobago needed. In an interview with the Express, Alexander said he had no intention of uniting with the UNC as the party was no different from the PNM. Alexander was responding to a call by UNC political leader on Monday night for smaller parties to join forces with the UNC to defeat the PNM in the local election and then the general election. He said, joining up with the UNC is more lazy politics. Joining up with the UNC is eeny, meeny, miny, mo politics. That is exchange politics. Trinidad needs change away from the PNM and the UNC. Alexander said Persad-Bissessar calling for unity to remove the PNM was no different from the PNM's call in 2015 to remove the widely corrupt and despised UNC. The widely corrupt and despised UNC. We, the people of TNT, have to realize moving from Party A to Party B and back to Party A doesn't help us and does nothing to or for the country. We stay stuck in the same cycle. Alexander said the UNC political leader was disrespectful to the smaller parties in the way she invited them to unite. Kamla is very disrespectful with this, to stand up on her public platform and calling for people to join with her. That is throwing a fishnet. The only people you can catch when throwing a fishnet is fish. She knows my telephone number, and if she wanted to talk to the PEP, she would have called me and we would have met and we would have told her the things that we were concerned about. And if they were willing to fix those things, we would have been willing to talk, but now it is far too long. Alexander said the PEP was uniting with the business community, workers, and other groups to bring about change the country needed. He has called a joint press conference, blah, blah, blah. The purpose of the conference, PEP stated, is to reveal an important alliance in the upcoming local government election. Yesterday was yesterday and today is today. So the same Kamla Persad-Bissessar that he was talking about here that was disrespectful, all of a sudden, he's had a change of heart. Last week, you know, when they were still in cahoots with Gary, he wanted nothing to do with him. Gary gone now. And all of a sudden, the scales have been removed from his eyes. And the UNC is the only hope to save Trinidad and Tobago. And he believes that by his party joining with the UNC, that somehow that will make a difference, right? He didn't see what has transpired between the NTA and the UNC. Gary Griffith's political currency, notwithstanding the fact that he likes to yap, is still a little more valuable than that of Philip Edward Alexander, the Jericho Project man, the Cans of Hope man, who still has questions to answer around that. The same man who between 2010 to 2015, or sometime in 2015 thereabout, was proposing the establishment of a program on government station CNMG called Equal Time, where he would be the host because nobody could do it like him. And the purpose of this program would be to sanitize disgraced government ministers like Anil Roberts, who he proposed to be his first guest so that they could deal with the Room 201 situation. Right? That was to be his first guest. And the cost was to be $92,000 a month. That was the proposed salary. $92,000 a month of your taxpayers' money. But you see, the law of the treasury makes strange bedfellows when it comes to politics. So all of a sudden, he's ready to throw his lot in with the UNC. But this ain't going to last, because even if somehow they form an accommodation or an alliance that they manage to hold together until the general election, it can't help them. Because if for a local government election, Jacques is back, Gary the Great, and OWTU, Roger, and a few stragglers couldn't help the UNC, couldn't help them to beat the PNM. Same, 7-7. And in fact, right now, notwithstanding that, with 130,000 votes, the PNM was able to hold 7 corporations. Right? 130,000. It took the UNC 189,000 votes to hold 7 corporations. What does that tell you about the strength of the People's National Movement? Well, I'll tell you, right? So he replacing Gary can't help them. And all it does, it just makes him look less credible than he already was. It says that you are willing to sacrifice morality at the altar of expediency and greed. All of them just looking for the treasury, you know. Everybody want to eat a food, drink a juice, and belch. Because they know once Kamala Persad-Bissessar leaves as leader of the UNC, all fall down. The House of Cards coming down like a ton of bricks. Because there's real infighting going to take place in that party to replace Persad-Bissessar. And since there is no heir apparent, remember at one time she had anointed Monilal to be her heir apparent, and then I don't know what happened after that. I think 2015, when he challenged her for the leadership of the election, she pulled it back. She realized that he was ungrateful. Yani Makaram, so I anointed you, and then you want to come and challenge me? Like, take it back, because it's mine. Mine. I will decide who will lead. So I don't know how that's going to play out, right? But the man who was telling us, well, telling, not us, he's telling me, the population, some people, that he is the only one who could save this country. The man who aspires to be the next prime minister is now saying, well, I'm willing to give up that. I'm willing to give up that just for a seat at the table. I am prepared to join the brotherhood of wrongdoers. Yeah? So all this talk I've been talking for the last 2 years and all of that and giving you all ideas and so on. But I always knew Philip Alexander to be a liar. Because you go and do a live, you go to the Diego Martin interchange to do a live and claiming that the interchange cost $2 billion. And you said that with a straight face, $2 billion. Where you get that information from? No facts. You have no evidence. And I know you have no evidence because it didn't cost no $2 billion. This administration built a whole interchange in Curep for $221 million. Right? But you want to tell us they spent $2 billion for the Diego Martin interchange? Really? Are we supposed to believe that? $2 billion with a straight face. No evidence whatsoever. He just pulling information, well, just pulling figures from wherever it is the monkey does put the nuts. He just go and dig up inside and let me pull a figure from there and come and give it to them. With no regard for credibility. And one of my loyal listeners here, Carol Myers, was telling me sometime that when she would have looked at one of his lives and challenged him, the things that he was saying, and challenged the validity of what he was saying, he rough up and tell her, don't come on his live here to fact check and correct him. They don't like truth. This is why some of them don't like this page. They're allergic to truth, to facts, because when we give it to you, we don't come here with no propaganda and thing. If you want us to provide you with evidence, we will provide you with that. Them men don't do that at all. He's the same one who put up a post some time ago, a year or so ago, talking about there's over 30,000 Africans in the prison system in this country. Over 30,000, yeah, Africans. I say 30,000. We have so many people in the prison population in Trinidad, 30,000. And all I had to do was to pull up, take my phone, check it. The prison population in Trinidad and Tobago is less than 6,000. But he said 30,000 Africans alone. We ain't including the other races. And his blind supporters, but they like to call PNM supporters sycophants. We drinking Balize juice. But the people who following him blindly, nobody went to fact check that. Yeah, we supporting Philip. Yeah, boy, Philip. Yeah. Even with the smallest of things that can be easily fact checked, he doesn't care to make sure that he's giving you accurate information. Just throwing things outside there, and then we hug it up and run with it. And then coming and spreading that and repeating it and end up looking stupid. But he wanted to be prime minister. And again, I asked the question, what is this frenzy? Let me form a coalition and form a coalition to be the PNM. If it is that the PNM should be easily beatable because, as they say, the economy in shambles. The worst it has ever been. Rowley mashed up the economy. Rowley mashed up the energy sector. Crime is at an all-time high. The cost of living is at an all-time high. People can't afford to buy food and send their children to school and all of these things. And yet still, in the face of all of that, you're concerned that the PNM could still win the election. So what you're trying to say? I'm confused. I'm really confused. Because I would think in any other jurisdiction, if things are really so bad, it should be easy to beat the ruling party. But even in the face of all them things that they keep telling us, country in a mess, this and that, foreign direct investment under Rowley is only negative. Nothing, nobody don't want to invest in Trinidad and all of that. And Trinidad, Rowley is an embarrassment. Rowley only care to travel and all of that. And you don't care about the people and he's a dictator and you're oppressing the poor. They have the mouthpieces all over the place, repeating that foolishness, dumb and dumber. Professor Misinformation and Captain Clueless on that radio station every evening talking that drivel. And they have the supporters calling in and supporting them. In the face of all of that, you all still need a coalition to be the PNM. Make it make sense now, because that maths and that English not English and that science not sciencing. How? You know why? Because the supporters of the PNM know all on stupidness. The true supporters of the PNM anyway. And those people who are sitting on the fence, when they weigh the two parties, the two main political parties, and the stragglers, why is it that everybody, when they run into hold on to Kamala Prasad Bisasa coattail? The PNM has always made the point, we win alone, we lose alone, and we stand alone. There's reason for that. The alternative to the PNM is chaos and confusion, and we see it play out every single day. We see it. Every day we see it. Right? So I doubt very much that Prasad Bisasa is going to take Philip Edward Alexander seriously, because if Gary, who, as I said, his political currency have a little more, well, not a little, much more value than that of Philip Alexander, because other than being a loudmouth, right, and a man with a questionable past, imagine once upon a time when I was on that radio station and I spoke about this individual. The man, family member, get my phone number to call me, to tell me he, a family member of his own, got my number from I don't know where, to call me to tell me he's a very shady character. Very shady character, right? So that tells you a lot. But birds of a feather flock together, and there's a reason why all of them flock into the UNC in droves, because it's all about the treasury, right? Because everybody wants to join up with the thief, but they do crew. We don't mind that they thief, so long as they do. So they pave, you know how long I walking on dirt road in my village, and they come and they pave the road, don't mind it in the last 6 months, but at least they came and they paved it, so they could get my vote. Right? Because they're creating programs where I could get easy money at the end of the month, $500 a month to make child, so I good. That is what I want. Don't come and tell me nothing about no program, and I have to go and do a course for 2 years. I'm not interested in that. I want money now. Give me money now. I don't want you to teach me to fish. Just give me fish. Right? Just tell me what time to come and where to go so I can collect a fish. I don't want to learn to fish. That is what the UNC does. Populist. because they know there's a significant cohort of persons in this country who like that kind of thing. I just have to fill out a form and collect our money at the end of the month. And I'm good with that. I want a food card. Where I could get that? Just fill out this form here. Go by the council office, fill out the form and we organize for you. And from next month, you'll get your food card. Yeah, I like that. I want a corporation work. By the time 10 o'clock in the morning, I don't work and I could go home and lie down and sleep, smoke a weed. That's what I want. But Rowley and them only talking about, come and do a course in UB. We will pay for it fair. Learn something in agriculture. When you finish, we're giving you 2 acres of land, $20,000, you're getting your farmer's license and a starter home. But you need to do the course to be able to get those things. No, I'm not interested in that. Rowley and them saying, come. We start a program, we put aside $20 million to create this grant fund. You could get up to $20,000, you have a business idea, and you want to start it, we're giving you $20,000 to start your business. But you're required to do a course over a period of weeks. We want to train you so that this business could be a success. We don't want to just give you $20,000 and you go and try a thing and it will work out and you say, well, all right, it didn't work. No, we want to give you the tools that you need to make this business a success. So you don't have to depend on the government anymore. And if it is the 20,000 is not enough, we put in things in place with NEDCO and other entities so that you could get a little extra something. But you need to put some skin in the game. And I'm telling you, all you have to do is to come to a course for a certain period of time and learn the trade so that your business could be successful. Nah, I don't have time for that, boy. Just give me the 20,000 now. I just want to fill out a form and just give me the money. If the business succeed, it succeed. And if it fail, hard luck. They just opened a facility in San Fernando last week. Paris opened it. Where the government providing you with space to run your business. If you don't have space home and you need space, come. We're providing you with the space so that your business could succeed. Government talking about 1,000 entrepreneurs by 2025, separate and apart from the Homestead program, where they're looking to create 200 agro entrepreneurs every year. 200 every year, right? And these young people, 18 to 35. So the government is seeking to build longevity in the agri sector. Because when you're a 20-year-old, if it is that they decide to embrace agriculture and the new technologies in agriculture, so it's not you need a pitchfork and a hoe and you're going and digging hard dirt in the hot sun and you're tired at the end of the day. No, teaching you hydroponics and all of these different things. Embrace new technologies. So once you fall in love with it and you're in this business for at least 40 years, you could build a very good business that could branch off. So it's not just that, you could then open perhaps a business where it is that you're selling agri supplies. You could go into agro processing. So you work in the land, but you're also into agro processing too. And the business growing. You might decide to link up with 2 or 3 of the other farmers who you would have worked with or who you were in class with. You all could come together and say, well, let's pool our resources now. You have 2 acres, you have 2 acres, you have 2 acres, and you have 2 acres. Instead of all of us producing the same thing, we will combine your 2 and your 2, and we will produce this. And that other 2, we will produce this. So we're not competing with each other. We're forming a cooperative and we're running business and we're making money and we will share the profits. And then we could try and do the same thing with some of the other guys who might be struggling and show them how to do it too. Now we are with that. Come now, we're talking about land for the landless. Come, take a certificate of comfort and go and squat. Keith always saying we want to build 600 homes for the needy. You're living in a old shack, right? It rickety. Every time the wind blow, you have to go and stand up. So if the wind blowing so, you have to try and lean up on it to push it back so because you don't want it to fall down. Come, in the first instance, we want to fix that. All we need to do is to get friends and family members to come and help with the labor. So we can spend on labor, we could put it to improve the fit in the house so we have better home. No, they're looking to vote apart. That's what it's about. Where is the UNC alternate? Where's the UNC equivalent of that? Where is it? 600 families in the first instance. And if each family has about, let's say, 5 persons living in the household, there's about 3,000 people benefiting from that program. No kudos. That's not front page for the newspapers. What's front page? Jack wants to make peace between Gary and Kamla. That's what making the front page, right? That's the headlines. So all of these programs, you ain't seen it nowhere. You know what we're talking about? KFC increased the price of some of their menu items by $1 and $2. Yes, we need to stand up and protest against KFC. Let we do that. That making sense. Yeah? Let us damage the economy as if. And you see, this is the foolishness that with some of these people. Because if it is, there is pushback. And all they want to stand up because KFC increased the price of this stuff by $1 and $2. And for that, you feel that warrants protest and boycott. You know what Mr. Muti and his company will simply do? Just the same thing that Direction did, or Dashin Enterprises that owns Movie Town. Take the money and go to Guyana and invest it there. They will build KFC because they opened one Starbucks in Guyana, they tested it out, and they said that the performance, the success of Starbucks, the one Starbucks in Guyana, has far exceeded what they expected. So you know what they're going to do? Expand in Guyana. Not here, because since we want to complain when the prices go up, well, no problem. There's opportunities in other Caribbean territories. So we're not investing money here for the citizenry to come and boycott. And then we had to find money to pay employees. So instead of expanding the business in Trinidad and hiring more people and creating employment, we just run to Guyana. There's no shortage of opportunities in Guyana. And I have no issue. Well, there is some issues with Forex over there too, because I know a couple of Trinidadian contractors who went across there to get work. And because of that Forex issue that they don't talk about, they've had to come back home. Right? They've come back home. But we'll talk about that at another time. So when people like Inshan Ishmael think that he's doing something good, and I need to rile up the population, get a protest against this 1%, this greedy 1% only thinking about themselves and fattening the pockets. Listen, Mr. Muti sit down in his office, so he sit down in his Mercedes, and he listening, and he on social media, and he reading, yeah, and he looking for opportunities outside. They want money here, okay, no problem. Carry it outside. It's not just Guyana alone. You have opportunities in Jamaica, in Barbados, all over. And he has no issue. Because at the end of the day, money is money. And if it is he goes to Guyana, he making US dollars. And if he goes to Jamaica, he will make US dollars. It doesn't bother him. And this is what these guys fail to understand. But why Inshan Ishmael don't tell people, hey, what now? Since I tell you don't support KFC, come down to Baraka grounds. The 8 ounce ribeye and the 2 sides, that is $120. Now we're cutting the price to $60. Why you don't do that? Why don't do that? You ain't doing that. But again, as I said, I see KFC giving meals, free meals. Sometimes they give to schools, some of these pan sides and stuff. The junior pan sides, they help them out too. I never see Brilliant giving nobody food. I never see Inshan Ishmael pose up with Valance Rambarat and these guys after they spend whole day looking for a lost person, saying, come, look at me. I never see that. But you want to lead the charge. You want to lead the charge to boycott KFC. And I want to add to that too. And all of these people who talking this stupid thing about all of these foreign franchises coming here and these KS Forex and all of these different things. Understand. Prestige Holdings, Agostini, Vemco, yes, all of that is part of the Victor E. Muti group. Do not only have operations in Trinidad and Tobago. They have business operations because they buying businesses outside of Trinidad and Tobago and earning US dollars. So they do not need. If they get it, no problem. But the fact of the matter is they have the wherewithal. You ever see Mr. Muti complaining in the newspapers or on TV that he ain't getting Forex? Because these guys are earning the foreign exchange outside. When they're buying up businesses in Barbados and in Jamaica and in Grenada and stuff, they earn US dollars outside that could support all of the franchise fees and anything that they have to pay. But these guys need to come educate the population instead of only riling them up on foolishness and propaganda and having people boldly come into social media and making statements that makes no sense, is not rooted in fact, and have you looking like a fool. See that? Boy. Never a dull moment, folks. What's the time now? Like 9:53. That's about a couple of hours. So I can't take no calls today because as soon as I finish at 10, I just head out and head to the airport, right? But I just felt I needed to touch on that. And based on how this whole thing with Philip Alexander and others who may come out of the woodworks soon enough, I feel I will make a special effort Tuesday or Thursday to jump out and do a live. I just had to ask my friends, hey, well, yeah, give me a one, right? Before we head out. But just coming back to this issue of the Forex and the foreign exchange and the foreign exchange. these companies continue to create employment and all of the other benefits that they bring to the economy. But we're not talking about these things. The Minister of Finance announced in his budget that the government was intended to engage in a financial literacy exercise. It is long overdue. It is long overdue. So I just wanted to put it out there for persons. Instead of all cussing Prestige Holdings and cussing KFC, right? Take the money. You don't want to buy KFC, no problem. Take your money, go down to a brokerage house, open a brokerage account, tell the broker you want to get shares in Prestige Holdings, right? So the next time you pick up the newspaper, 6 months from now, and you see Prestige Holdings declares their half-year results, and you see the profits, and then 1 year from now, when they declare their results, the financials for the year 2024, and you're reading the profit figure, instead of toting and talking about, oh, the 1% and the 1% getting richer, and that is what Rowley like, and Rowley only wants the rich to get richer. You could be sharing in those profits. You could do it now, right? Take a loan, you have some kakada sit down in the bank, use it as collateral. Tell the bank, hold that. So you will get a reduced, if the loan is fully secured, your interest rate is reduced, right? Or you could do it partially, partial security, and you get a reduced. Go to the credit union. The credit union, I think, sometimes they give you 2 and 3 times your shares for a loan, which is an investment loan, right? Take up the newspaper, do your research, check out to see some of the companies on the stock exchange, see the prices. I mean, you have the expensive one like Republic Bank, where the share price is, I think, now about $130 something, $140. Back when I used to be with them in the mid 2000s, 2007 or thereabouts, I think it was about 50 something. When I left, it was about heading to $60, right? So there is potential there for future growth. You're looking to invest in something, you could do that, so that you could leave, you could benefit from the dividends today, and then you could leave these shares for your children or your grandchildren. Give them that legacy. Do that instead of complaining. So the next time when you do that and you walk into KFC and you see, hey, the price gone up. Well done, KFC, because you're looking forward to a nice dividend check. When you go out, you're driving past KFC, you're only looking, I find the line too short there. You know? You only looking, you're happy to see long lines in the drive-thru, notwithstanding the fact that the price went up, because you know, money in the bank for me. I could walk in there proud with my shoulders held high. I am part shareholder. I am part owner of this company. Any KFC that you walk into, right? You see, there's this meme going around with these 3 guys stand up on a balcony overlooking the plebs. A clip from, what's the name of that movie, boy? This vampire and wolf movie. Can't remember the name of it. But yeah, that could be you. You know, this is my company too. So I want to talk the 1%. When Prestige Holdings have an AGM, they're sending you an invitation, right? You get an email or something to tell you the AGM on such and such day, and you entitled. Not everybody could bounce in there. You're not a shareholder, you're not invited. Go and listen and hear what it is they have in place to build the business, so that more money in your pocket. Instead of you just have your money sitting down in the bank, they want to lend you a money, right? And then giving you $2.50 in interest and taking $15 and $20 in service fees. You set up a standing order, they're charging you how much money just for a standing order to move your money from one place to the next. Take some of that money and make it make sense. Invest in the stock market, right? And the government right now, again, the progressive administration that we have is now offering an incentive to small and micro enterprises to list on the stock exchange. So they get a 5-year moratorium, I think it is, on the corporate taxes, if it is the list on the stock exchange. So it gives you, the citizens, more opportunities to invest. Just the other day, the government had NIF number 2. Some of you all missed out on the opportunity. For whatever reason, you missed the opportunity. You have opportunities every day on the stock market that is similar to the NIF, right? So not because you lost out there. It might probably have a NIF 3, I don't know. But you missed out on NIF, all is not lost. The stock exchange is always there. Take the opportunity. Stop costing KFC. And this is not a paid advertisement. I don't know Mr. Mute. I've never met him. I've never met, well, I know the new CFO, right? Because we work together on another board. We serve on another board, but anyway. But I don't know the Mute family. I have never met them, but I am just looking at this from the perspective of my professional hat. Stop trying to mash up business. The American economy is built on the back of business, not the government. The government tries to encourage the establishment of businesses. The more businesses you have, the more profitable business is, the more taxes the state can get. Not increasing corporate tax that they pay. So in Jan Ishmael, I wonder how much corporation tax he pays. I wonder if he pays any corporation tax for the money he makes at Brilliant. Always boasting about how much people, yeah, the line's always long by Brilliant. How much tax you pay? You want to talk about the doubles vendors and they give back, they invest their money in the community to buy what? The ingredients for the doubles, but all of their money stays in their family, right? Within their family circle. All the money that they make. Prestige Holdings, their money, some of it goes to their family by virtue of the fact of their shareholding. Any citizen could buy Prestige Holding shares and share in the profits too. I know the thing that's upset me too with these guys just before I go. For years, we've been talking about so many different small businesses in this country that don't pay corporation tax, don't pay corporate taxes, right? But yet still they're thriving. They like to make it seem as if the doubles vendor is just a poor, struggling man who have a little box by the wayside and he's just making enough money to take care of his family. I will never forget when my sister, back in 2015, when she first started experiencing severe complications with her diabetes, and she developed something called gastroparesis, where her stomach muscles were paralyzed, and she was at West Shore. And I went to see her one day, and at the time, I think the doctor was in with us, so I had to sit down in the waiting room. And I saw these guys who sell doubles, I wouldn't say away, right? Sitting in the waiting room with congratulations balloons, those fancy balloons and so on, and flowers and all kind of things. Because one of their family members was had a baby there, right? And they came to visit. You know how much it is to deliver a baby in West Shore? You know how much it is? Plenty money to deliver a baby in West Shore. But this picture, this narrative they like to create that, the doubles vendor is just, he's just making some doubles trying to make ends meet to feed his family. Yeah. So if he increase the price of doubles by $1, don't vex with him now. It's just because he feeding his family. You know where his bank account is? He come in and selling doubles in our old car. And let me make it abundantly clear. I am not critical of anybody and their hustle, right? Because everybody goes into business to make profit. So they will come and they selling doubles with the old car. But that when they go home, a big 2-story house, when they look down in the garage, it's Ford Ranger by 2. Right? Ford Ranger by 2. Hilux. All of these different things. Niceties. But you there, let me get him on a sale. Whole day he outside, let me get him a sale because he's just trying to help to make ends meet for his family. Right? So I ain't gonna vex with him if he increase the price of doubles by $1 because this wicked and evil rowdy government, everything going up, the price of China going up, and the price of oil going up, and the price of flour going up. So it's okay. I wouldn't quarrel for the $1 increase. But KFC, yeah, they're making money, so they mustn't increase the price of nothing. Right? They are accountable to their shareholders. When you take your hard-earned money and invest in their shares, you expect to get a proper return. So they have a responsibility. And if it is overheads go up and nothing increases, it impacts the profitability of the business and the amount of dividends that the shareholders will get. They have to answer to their shareholders. So, and if you are not a shareholder, so you couldn't care less. Yeah, but they have shareholders to answer to. Understand? So every time you see them open a new outlet, don't vex for them now. They're doing what it is the shareholders want them to do. And it's not the 1% community. They own part of it. But ordinary citizens, people with my hue, yeah, own shares there. So forget these guys who try to create this and push racial division and give you the impression that it's only a certain sector of society could earn money from these companies. Forget that. Right? So don't take that chain up at all. As I said, I have no issue with the doubles vendor. From time to time, I like to enjoy my doubles. Where's the price? It don't matter to me. That's why I work hard. So if anybody increases their price, okay. What's the point of having money and you just have it sit down in the bank? And you're trying to think, nah, they increase that by $2 by now, me buying that now. And then today or tomorrow you fall down dead and all the money has sit down in the bank and everywhere else that you have it invested, somebody else who has no appreciation for how hard you work for it will come and spend it and squander it. Me, I'm not doing that. So I'm not going and gripe about no price. I have learned a long time, you see, when I go on this trip, I don't do any conversion in my mind. Because if I go to do conversions, I probably wouldn't buy anything. The only thing I will not buy in the US is water, bottled water, and Coca-Cola. I am not paying $3.49 for US for a bottle of water that I pay $5 for. I'm not paying $25 for a bottle of water that I will pay $5 and $6 in Trinidad for. And Coca-Cola, as much as I like it, $1.80, when I do that math, I'm not doing that. It's things like that, I wouldn't. When it comes to other things, shopping, clothes, footwear, them things, long time from very early on, I learned, you see that conversion, me, I not doing no 7, the price by 7 and all that. Forget that. Work hard. When I come back home, we're going to take care of that bill. Right? So, plan it in advance so I know how that going and pay for. So I know what my limit is and what I will spend. I'm not going to gripe about an increase in $1, $2, right? So let's come on now. Let us stop embracing this poverty mindset that people like Insha and Ishmael and these political opportunists like to come with. Yeah? $2 ain't gonna kill you. It ain't gonna break you, especially. And even if you're buying KFC every day and you're buying this same boss deal every day for 30 days for the month, that is just $60 more. $60 ain't gonna kill you. Because if the price somehow you would like to drink punchin and white oak and all of these different things, when the price go up, you have no problem. When the price of the cigarettes go up, you have no problem, you're still buying it. And you ain't smoking any less. And that is just as unhealthy as the KFC as you all claim. Right? So come now, man, ease us up with that. But for those of you who have a different perspective, no problem. But as I said, I am not couching it in the 1% and the rich get richer nonsense, because based on where I sit professionally, investments, I see the benefit in it. Okay? So don't complain, invest. If you can't beat them, join them. So you could be a 1% without, and 1% shouldn't be a hue. 1% should really be, what's the term I'm looking for? It should really be a financial group, if you want to use that too, right? So you could join the 1% too, in terms of where you invest your money. Don't be part of the 99% who only know about bank and credit union and susu. Join the 1% who put in the money on the stock exchange and who invested in exchange traded funds. Not so much mutual funds. You could invest in mutual funds, but look at these things. But we will talk about that at another time. We will have a whole session on different investment vehicles and where's the best place that you could put your money to get the best return and so on, right? But I don't have the time for today because I'm already over by 7 minutes. Roxanne is saying they send out a new troll. Who is this person? So, all right, so let me see. Right, so somebody is saying it costs less than $1 to make and sell for $5 and $6, and that's so true. And I see all of the people who telling people, hey, fry your own chicken home and it will cost you less. Really? 3 pieces of chicken, portion of fries, and a drink costing you $52, right? The cheapest bottle of oil is what? $13. So minus 13 from 52, and you see where we are already, right? Then you have to buy the chicken, which ain't cheap. So if you buy a leg, thigh, and breast, how much are costing you in the grocery? You have to buy seasoning for the chicken, right? And then when you're buying the fries, how much for the fries? There's no place that you could go and just say, well, I just want a portion of fries to go home and fry. You have to buy the whole pack of fries, right? Ketchup, mustard, all of these different things that you have to get. And then the soft drink, Coca-Cola, KFC is what? KFC or Pepsi? Yeah. If you had to buy that too. So $7 or whatever. So 7 and the oil, let me say 13, your body cheapest. That's $20 there already. The chicken alone probably taking up the next $30. So how is it cheaper? You have to buy flour to fry. And if you want to use egg wash, so you have to buy a crate of eggs, or not a crate, but probably half dozen eggs or whatever. Already you have run past. And then you have to use gas or the electricity that you're using to fry. Right? For the stove. You don't run past $52 already. So how it making more sense to do it home for yourself? Make it make sense for me now, please. Folks, thank you all so much. Roxana, I ain't seen who this new troll is, but yeah. Somebody says I see it as skunk and the life. Who is this? Let's know. Let's see. So let me see what can happen. I will pay close attention, even though when I'm outside I try to zone out from too much from the noise here. But I will still stay grounded, and perhaps either Tuesday or Tuesday I'll do something, or maybe Wednesday or something. So I just had to ask Sharon to forgive me on those days, right? So enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. It was nice. As I said, I can't take no calls today because I need to head to the airport. But we will chat again very soon. Somebody says the ones comprised about the 1% are the same ones whose children are thankful, employed by the same 1% KFC and Subway. So true. So true. Right? So, because I wanted to touch on Rodney Charles too, again calling for Dr. Rowley to declare his health status. Why don't you tell your leader to do that? Huh? She need a human crutch. She walked 2 feet. She tired. She needs somebody to come on so she could hold on to. 2010 to 2015, her sister was playing nurse at great cost to the taxpayers. What was her health situation then? Has it improved? No, but you're calling on Dr. Rowley. But that's a talk for another time. Folks, we'll chat again soon. Thank you so much, Rosemary, Joycelyn, Small Right, Deborah, Winston Jack, thank you so much. Annette, thank you all. It was a pleasure coming on. Yes, so that was the one benefit of my flight being delayed. Yeah. Yes, Winston. Damn fast and out, please. Go and talk to your leader and tell her to declare her health status now. Well, you want to know what's wrong with Dr. Oli. Dr. Oli, for a 74-year-old man, looks very healthy to me. Right? Very healthy to me. Strong. When he jump out the back of that SUV, he needs no help. Kamla, the door open. Give me a moment. Let me put out my foot. Right. Hold my hand. I want to roll out the van. Hold my hand. Right. You have me? You sure? All right. 1 foot. Just now. 2 feet. Okay. We got to go there, right? Hold on. Let me just wave. Hey. Yes. All right. All right. Let me go. But don't make it look too obvious, eh? Just now. Hold on. 1 step. 2 steps. 1 step. Left foot. Right foot. Left foot. How far again? Yeah, just a little bit. All right. Left foot. Right foot. All right. I need to catch my breath. Let me stop and wave. All right. I'm good to go there. Let me go again. Left foot. Right foot. Like this place, you sure they moved the office? Just now. Left foot. Right foot. I come in. Hold on. Let me catch my breath again. Anybody there to wave to? All right. Let me go. Yeah. Not Dr. Rowley. Jump out of hand. Put it to the well. Where duck gone, boy? Man, quick. Folks. That's a little humor this morning. We will chat. I got.